all I see is sea kelp. I might actually have to seek help. No, no, seriously. I'm stuck. Someone, please help me. Please. Hello y'all, welcome back to another episode of RNS. It's another lovely day on the RNS server. Unlike real life where it's been sad and rainy for a while. This is the one I want. Yes, hello. I got some more fun things planned for you today, hopefully. But before we get to that, there's a couple of things I want to tell you. First of which is our base, because last time we made that guardian farm, but that means that the roof is completely finished now. So that's nice. Though I don't really know what the idea is with this hole here, but I think, like, I don't know. We'll see. Then another thing, you might have noticed last episode, but like Sure did most of the things within the episode, but Sure also edited that episode, so that's nice. Yeah, because since I'm doing college and have less time, and Sure still has time, they proposed to do some editing here and there, so that's fun. Hopefully we should see a bit more episodes now as well. And then the final thing, I changed the roof here so that it's higher on both sides now. So yeah, that's nice. Alright, then let's just jump into the video, or just like what I'm planning to do this episode. And it involves this staircase of farms we have, all the way at the bottom, well, the lowest farm we have. We got this like big pool of water with kelp. And kelp is fun because you can do two things with it. You can use it in composters to make bone meal, and you can also make it into dried kelp and use that as fuel. So it's very easy to automate it into those two things, and I plan to go do that this episode. And I feel like I got a pretty fun method of doing that, because, well, if you break kelp, or just, like, you know, drop items into water, they will float to the top. And so what I'm going to do is I'll make the ceiling one higher here, and then put source blocks, water source blocks in the middle here, and make sure the water spreads outwards to the left and to the right. I know that is left, that's right, don't worry about it. So yeah, what'll happen is the kelp will float up, and then it will float outwards, and then I can collect it on both sides. I will make like two streams that will be behind the walls here, and that will go that way, slowly down. So it can go, you know, behind here. I'm just realizing that might be difficult with this here, but my plan was to make another doorway here and to make the kelp thingy. Well, what I'm saying, the composter thingy and the smelter on this side. Though I could maybe do the composter, make it go up with an elevator to this thing, because here we already have a composter thing. That's a lot of bone meal already. Yeah, that thing was, I had filled this up completely because for the items to flow upwards, they need to be all source blocks, otherwise they will get stuck. So what I did was just take a whole lot of kelp and then just one by one filling up this whole basin. Yeah, that took a while, but that's done now. So, oh, there's one more kelp. So yeah, it'll flow up everywhere and will not get stuck. I haven't really taken a look at like any of the redstone here yet, so I guess we'll just go figure that out this episode. As for now, I'm going to start with the extra water on the roof, because that's kind of tricky. I need to put blocks all the way on this layer, because like water is difficult and hard, weird in Minecraft. So yeah, I'll do that first, and also make the channels on the sides there. Alright, I maybe should have prepared a bit better, because I've come across several problems already, but yeah, let's just take a look, shall we? So, first of all, you can see I made these channels up here, behind here, and you can see how the water floats outwards. So, here in the center there are source blocks, and they flow outwards to here, and we can actually go in here. You see, oh, there's like signs everywhere, and then it'll float down here up until somewhere. Oh, it just ends here now. But well, that's all the things that do work. One thing is I had miscalculated this, and I thought I made this room wide enough, but I didn't, so I needed to dig out the walls one more on each side. Well, that wasn't that big of a problem. What is more annoying though, you remember how I said I filled in everything here to be water source blocks? Well, I maybe should have waited with doing that, because, well, how I did this water is actually kind of tricky, and I will show you that quickly in a creative world. So let's go there. Alright, I'm re-recording this bit actually, because I thought it was quite tricky, but it's not too bad actually. So here we have like a simulation of the kelp farm. We have the basin here, and we want the water to flow over to here. So, like we got here, this is what we want. This is the end result. So what you might think to do is this. But the water will flow into the water and not over the water. So this doesn't work. What you have to do is, well, you may want the water to go over here. So you have to fill this all in. Give me a sec. Like this. Now the water behaves like we want, but now if we remove this dirt, now this looks like it works out, but it's not actually, because like all those dirt we removed, there's not source blocks there now, there's just falling water. So items that are floating up, they will get stuck on this layer. But the thing is, like, it's actually not that hard to fix, because if you want to fill up a large rectangle like this with water, it's very easy. You just like put water all along the side, along two sides, and then it'll fill up the entire thing. Oh, missed one. You see how it fills up. And this actually works underwater as well, and I thought it didn't, but it does. So what we have to do is we need to fill up this side and then this side as well. And now everything is source blocks. And you can actually see that with F3 on the right. You can see Minecraft water falling false. And this will be the case everywhere. So yeah, that's solved fairly easily. Then one final thing I missed is, well, kelp. How it grows is like with age levels. It's pretty quirky. So when you place down a kelp, you can see with F3, you can see to the right, it says age 22. And what that means is that as it grows, the kelp that will be on top of it will have age 23. And the one on top of that will have 24, and this will keep going until age 25. That is the maximum age. And you can actually see that I have a resource pack that makes the top layer have like pink flowers when it has age 25, as you can see to the right. It does have age 25. And I thought that would mean kelp can grow 25 blocks high, but the lowest age it can get is 0, so they can actually grow 26 blocks high. And, well, you might think that's not a problem, like it will stop growing when it gets to the top, but it actually is a problem, because kelp makes like normal falling or flowing water blocks into source blocks. And you can see that here actually, that these kelp have like made the water they're in source blocks, and that just messes things up, and now water is flowing weird here. It's like honestly not the worst problem. But I think it might be possible that like it will flow in a certain way that like it won't go outwards anymore. Like for example here, I think if you're here, well, okay, it seems like there's still flow there. I think there's a way to mess it up, but I don't know. I just want to be sure. So, well, you think the solution might be just like dig one deeper, but as you can see here, I've already reached bedrock level. So I'm gonna have to dig up one, which is also fine. But then you see here, there's also something, which is the cactus farm here. So I'll have to move this as well, which I can't move this one up because of course here is the sugarcane, and I can't move this up because of course like all these farms are staggered, like they're right on top of each other. So I'm just going to move the cactus farm entirely. Or maybe just remove it. Like who the heck needs cactus? Like honestly, this is, I don't know how long this cactus farm is here, and like 2 stacks. Yeah, not that much. Anyway, I'm going to yeah, work on all those problems, and I'll be back after that. You know, some people might say, if something's worth doing, it is worth overdoing. That's probably not a very good way to live your life. However, it might have kind of happened here. Because I was going to work on this farm, you know, bit by bit, and show you step by step what I was working on. But I kind of just went ahead and did everything. So instead of showing you one by one in my survival world, I made like some steps in several creative worlds where I can show you all the things I've gone through with building this farm. On top of that, I've just put in way more work than I initially planned to, but you know, we'll see. Alright, so this is basically kind of how we've left the farm, with like the water flowing to the sides over into these channels. But what I've noticed is when we break all this kelp, let's do that. You can see that some of the kelp actually stays behind. All the kelp that yeah, ends up in the center of this, which makes sense. But I don't like that, of course, because that's wasted kelp. And so I thought of a neat little system that makes sure that all that kelp gets picked up. Which brings us to step 2, which is this. And I must say it looks pretty nice. So what's going on here is that there's 2 water source blocks here in the center, and I've made it so that it flows outwards. So when kelp lands in this middle channel, it will flow all the way up and then flow outwards. And now the only place where kelp can get stuck is exactly in the middle here. And you know, I thought of making a system with like pistons that like push the kelp or whatever, but I decided against it because this does look more sleek. Okay, so now you're probably wondering how I did this, and it's actually fairly simple, which brings me to my next slide. It's like a PowerPoint presentation, except it's like different worlds. Alright, so I plugged everything up. You can see beneath here that this is where the kelp is. And I just made everything stone, and then I made this channel here. And in the middle, these are our 2 source blocks. And what I did is just break the blocks underneath here, which will make it all flow down and outwards. And on the other side as well. And now it's just a matter of removing this. And then finally the floor as well, which I won't do because I hope you can see, you know, how that will look. I thought I had it by this point, but I still wasn't there yet because I noticed that stuff that flowed all the way over here didn't flow outwards, it got stuck here. And it actually doesn't really solve the problem at all. But I thought of something that did solve that. How I did that was by making a channel here that will just flow all the way down here, to the other channel. So they just combine. And on this side, I've made it so it goes to that channel, and on the other side, I've made it so it goes to this channel. And now it should be perfectly equally split, because that's very important, of course. Alright, by this point, this cactus farm that's over here had been completely built over, and I had just completely removed it in the survival world. But I did actually want to have a cactus farm somewhere, because, well, you know, because, I guess. And I realized that the thing I do with this kelp farm, which is put one side into a composter and the other side into a smelting array, and Cactus actually can do that as well. You can also compost it and smelt it. So why not combine those? Which brings me to my next slide. And yeah, this was not very hard to implement at all. Just make a array of cactus over here, and as soon as the cactus grows, it will pop off and fall down, and then float up, and then go into the channels, just like the rest. So yeah, should work fairly well. But you know, at this point, I've put so much work on this. It looks like the water is so fancy, it's got this whole cactus thingy. I thought, well, okay, if we're making a whole project out of this, let's do it right. So I also entirely decorated this farm to make it look nice. And I thought, let's keep the theme that I have with our storage and the trading hall, and do something similar. And here we have it, y'all. It is kind of hard to see because of all the cactus in the way, but I took a nice palette of green terracotta and oak wood and spruce, and I made it into something quite nice, I must say. This looks like a indoor dock or whatever. Like, what's the word? A place where they build ships, because of the water, of course, and these wooden accents. Have some nice paintings here as well. And as with all my builds, apparently, a nice vaulted roof. I swear, guys, I don't always build like this. It's just, it fits, I feel like. I don't know. So yeah, this is basically all my steps. And now we can go to the survival world and look at basically exactly the same thing. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see if I didn't lie. Yep. Exactly the same. And I did not lie. This took many hours to like design this and build it. First in creative and then in survival as well. But I guess I felt like working a lot of Minecraft the past week. So what happens next? Because, well, okay, for this episode I'm not going to build anymore or design anymore, because I've spent enough time already. So that's going to happen another time. But let's at least brainstorm a bit about what will happen next time. So, of course, I got these channels here, and as for now, they fall down here. I should, at the very least, make some hopper collection systems here on both sides, so that, like, all this kelp and cactus doesn't get lost. But that shouldn't be too hard. Then I'll have to design a nice room on this side, because, like, the stairs are there, right about here, where I have access to a super smelter. And that super smelter will have to do a couple of things. It will be quite complex. Oh. Hello, thunder. I still have to do something with that, with our trident, but I haven't enchanted it yet, so that will happen another time. Anyway, with the super smelter, it has to do a couple of things, which is, like, it has to get a lot of kelp at once, and then smelt that kelp, I'll have to make that kelp into kelp blocks, and then make a thing that can put the kelp blocks back into the system. But on the other hand, it also has to be able to get cactus into it. And the kelp will come in by stacks and stacks, so I don't worry really about being inefficient with fuel, but the cactus is very slow, like there's one in all this time. So if every time one cactus comes in, I'll have to use one kelp block to smelt it, that's not very efficient at all. So I'll think of a neat little system that will like collect 20 cactus and then put them in a furnace somewhere. I don't know, that is something for another time. Then another thing that I want to do is, well, by now I've been breaking all this kelp by hand, which is of course like, it's not that much effort, but it is some effort. Particularly because, well, if I break this kelp, I have to make sure I break it all the way down to one layer high and nothing more. Because, well, as in the beginning of the episode, otherwise it will mess up the water up here. Because it'll be able to grow higher if I break it higher than the first layer. So a better solution would be to make a nice slime flying machine thing that will periodically go from side to side. I'm not sure if they work on the water. I'm pretty sure they do, but I haven't actually checked. But we'll see about that. And otherwise, I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, now that we're down here, actually, I came across something really weird. I want to see if it's still here. Yes, it is still here. It's quite hard to see, so let me just break this. So, look at this kelp right here. It is just floating on top of this other kelp. It is so cursed. I have no idea how this happened. It's so weird. Yeah, I'm going to try to keep this as long as possible. Of course, if there's a flying machine, it'll be very hard to not break this. But yeah, for now, I'm going to keep it as long as possible because that is so cursed. Alright, now a couple of more things. First of all, oh my god, I have gotten so sick of this water sound. It's like, I've been playing with two instances of Minecraft, with this one and the creative one, and I keep them running both at the same time. So I have like 2 times this water sound. It kind of haunts my dreams. Why haven't I put it down? Because I've only noticed it becoming annoying after it started haunting my dreams. I don't know. It's a lot, and if like when it gets like quiet, it's such a breath of fresh air. Silence. Wow. Anyway, another thing was actually, I've also been checking up on these water streams, of course, often, because, oh, hello, creeper. That's, Anyway, I've been checking up on these water streams, of course, for to collect stuff. And one fun thing I noticed is like I'm over here, and I need to be down there with the staircase. And every time I can do this, which is just such a satisfying move. I'll do it once more. Just from here, and then ooh, super smooth. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Oh yeah, and now, I spent a lot of time making this very fancy, quite big farm. And it is down here in this very tiny, janky staircase with very tiny, janky farms. So, I have a couple of options now. Like, should I make every single one of these farms, like, equally nice as the one below there? Should I just remove this and make more space for better farms? Because, like, they are, like, right on top of each other. Yeah, I think I can't make them nice without moving them. because there's just not enough space. The third option is, of course, to just leave it like it is. Let me know, because, like, I don't know, it's a lot of work. Okay, who baby, I think we we should end this episode at some point. It's good. Like, I started, I've basically spent a week and a half on this episode, because, well, the previous one sure edited, so I hadn't really put a lot of time in that week. Whoa, that was a labored sentence. Anyway, as I was saying, it's good that I started early, because it was a lot of work. Yeah, let's do an ending to this biz, you know? I feel like the bell up there. That sounds like a good bell right now. A pillager. Ooh, spicy. Alright, let's try to hit that bell while flying up. That's probably not going to happen, but I'll try. Nope, it did not happen. Down then, this is a very bad idea. Okay. One more try. Nope. Dang. Okay, one more try. Nope. Heck it. I'll just do it the normal way. Fine. How, like, slow and boring. Anyway, where's those pillagers? Oh! I can actually see you. Whee! It seems to be the only one. Anyway, bye, I guess.